2018 SsangYong Rexton SUV Review. Pros: tough, rugged and reliable workhorse. Far superior to previous model. Huge boot in 5-seat mode. 7-seat version available. Cons: ride could be choppy. Not much engine gearbox choice. Relatively unknown brand. Low fuel economy and high tax. The SsangYong Rexton SUV will be the answer to a really specific group of requirements. It's a very capable 7-seat off-roader and may tow very heavy loads, but doesn't appeal like a road car just like as its main rivals including the Hyundai Santa Fe, Kia Sorento or Jeep Grand Cherokee. However, SsangYong also notes a second-hand Land Rover Discovery among its most direct rivals to the Rexton, which indicates the amount of buyers it's targeting. And while it's theoretically possible to seat 7, it's at its top in 5-seat configuration for making the most from the huge boot space available. Indeed, top-spec Ultimate is just available as being the latter, which indicates the 6th and 7th seats are so cramped for anything further than short journeys for taller third-row passengers. Older design but very tough. Unlike newest cars, the Rexton sits on what's known to be a ladder chassis, a high-strength steel frame, while using body attached via 8 rubber mounts. This means it's incredibly strong, capable of tow huge loads around 3.5 tons and capable off-road. It feels somewhat off the pace when it comes to handling and ride quality moving around, but there is however no denying its off-road capabilities as a result of this a little more utilitarian setup. There's just one single diesel engine being offered, and have the 6-speed manual or 7-speed automatic gearbox, rogues of that's borrowed from Mercedes-Benz. Simple, well-equipped trims. The trim structure starts at X, with aircon, an 8.0-inch touchscreen, parking sensors, automatic lights and wipers, cruise control along with a suite of safety systems included. Moving around DLX nets that you simply much nicer 9.2-inch multimedia screen and leather upholstery together with heated and powered front seats. However, the lion's share of sales will tend to be top-spec Ultimate, which offers an extremely impressive SP watch of kit including a powered tailgate, quilted Napa leather seats, mood lighting along with a 360-degree parking camera. You can learn more regarding the equipment to be had by scrolling for the equipment portion of this review. On face value, the Rexton seems as if a good value proposition, but this can be countered with the firm's inability to provide you with the sort of financial incentives its rivals can, meaning leasing costs are going to be higher than names like the Kia Sorento and Hyundai Santa Fe. However, fixed-price servicing as well as a limitless mileage warranty go somehow to making up just for this fact. The verdict: there's no doubting the Rexton has some serious capability, particularly when it comes to interior space, standard equipment and rugged off-road ability. The only question for you is whether many buyers need that before reasonable finance, lower running costs and much more car-like manners traveling. SsangYong Rexton Review. Could this become your next 4x4? Diesel-only lineup. Choice of manual and auto gearbox is particularly effective in towing. There's only one engine being offered here, a SsangYong-built 2.2-liter turbodiesel that accompanies a 6-speed manual gearbox as standard or maybe a Mercedes-Benz-sourced 7-speed automatic. The motor generates the identical output in each case at 181 horsepower, while using manual generating 400 Nm of torque and also the automatic 420 Nm. SsangYong expects the automatic version being the overwhelming favorite among buyers, plus normal driving it's really good. The engine covers well and revs freely to get a diesel. In case you ask to grade it, then it is noisy as well as the gearbox struggles to alter gears quickly enough. It's an existing design of box in comparison to many rivals now. However, most Rexton buyers aren't going to become interested in how slow it is. In reality, it's quick and responsive enough to haul the top SsangYong over the road for a reasonable pace. If you want to control the gears yourself, we have a small thumb start the gear lever. However, we'd just let it sit and drive and allow it to do its very own thing. Few people are likely to go for your manual, accessible and lower spec Rextons. This is a 6-speed box. It feels a serious different car they are driving than the automatic, with an extremely abrupt clutch pedal and vague feel over the gear lever when changing gear. We'd stick using the smooth automatic. Perhaps more pertinently, the braked towing capacity on the Rexton is surely an unusually high 3,500 kilograms, or 3.5 tons, which puts it on par, otherwise ahead, of most rivals. Car firms aren't capable to go higher web hosting vehicles. Lots of body roll, slow, vague steering, impressive off-road. The Rexton can be a large SUV, and handles just like you'd expect someone to, albeit perhaps slightly more agriculturally than we'd prefer. Its steering is slow, that make maneuvering a chore, and we have a noticeable level of body roll when faced, which has a tight bend. This is often a heavy car that rewards considered driving inputs. As it won't encourage you drive an automobile quickly, that it is quite relaxing. And despite its big dimensions, doesn't necessarily feel too overwhelming take down tighter roads, either. However, we had arrived extremely impressed with the way it dealt with off-road situations. Its short overhangs at both sides, coupled with all off-wheel drive capability activated using a rotary switch behind the apparatus lever, mean it's in a position to tackle nearly the toughest terrains we've ever done it on: wet grass, sticky mud, and quite technical items of off-road terrain, and yes, it handled everything with ease. Vastly improved design, much better materials, easy to get good driving position compared to your previous Rexton. There was a dramatic improvement from the cabin, almost on the point that you simply wonder whether it's turned out designed by a new company. SsangYong really has moved the sport on in this way. It's not perfect, by incorporating lower quality plastics used by some switchgear. Even so, the layout is easy, albeit with way too many buttons for liking. We found the 9.2-inch multimedia screen, and that is standard on mid-spec ELX models and above, very understanding of touch inputs, which helps while using standard fit Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Even if you don't make use of these systems, the TomTom sat-nav is responsive and clear, whilst the screen was in easy reach with the driver. The driving position is incredibly high, that could appeal to many SUV buyers, plus the steering wheel adjusts for reach and rake, so it's easy to discover a good driving position. The comfortable seats are really simple to adjust, too. We weren't as looking towards the manual gear selection about the automatic gearbox, though. It's using a thumb first turn on the lever as opposed to paddles, and thus it's a cumbersome solution. Those who opt for your manual car may struggle to get as comfortable a driving position, though. The clutch pedal sets quite far, meaning smaller drivers have to sit somewhat further forward compared to they normally would while using auto. A smart new 7.0-inch TFT LCD display also on ELX and above sits behind the controls to display digital speedometer and rev counters, as well as trip computer, driver assistance and navigation instructions where required. It's an incredibly crisp and clear setup. Excellent seats, well-insulated cabin. Ride is usually bumpy. The SsangYong Rexton is really a comfortable car generally in most situations. The front seats need special mention, they've already lots of adjustment and you well without pinching. The bolstering is soft, plus they absorb some imperfections within the road that can otherwise jar. They're good indeed. Cabin insulation is nice too, with minimal road or wind noise intruding, unless the highway surface is specially harsh. Higher spec cars with 20-inch alloys enjoy a bit more road noise, however it's never too intrusive. The diesel engine can become somewhat noisy when you work it way too hard, though. Our only major problem here has to do together with the design on the Rexton. Its older-style body-on-frame arrangement, the location where the chassis from the car is apart from the shell and connected by 8 rubber mounts, means the ride is usually choppy in common situations because any jolts increase the risk for 2 parts to relocate independently. This means your vehicle doesn't ride as smoothly. Weight loss. Modern designs, and harsh bumps inside the road can send judders over the whole car. There is a notable improvement when you go for just a car with smaller wheels, though. There's no adaptive suspension to be had either, so there's less flexibility like some rival cars. Well-appointed trim levels. Technology is with a par with rivals. Not many optional extras. There's a tremendous range of kit within the Rexton, primarily since the company doesn't perform a huge quantity of optional extras. Also it's split over 3 trim levels, X, ELX and Ultimate. There's a large quantity of safety and driver assistance features too, but we've covered these within the safety section below. Standard SsangYong Rexton equipment. Base spec X cars come remarkably well appointed. These versions have 7 seats, the option with the Mercedes-sourced 7-speed automatic gearbox, 17-inch alloy wheels as well as an audio system through an 8.0-inch screen. Moving nearly. ELX offers a choice of 5 seats for just a far larger boot, 18-inch alloys, dual-zone climate control, a greater instrument cluster screen, TomTom Sadnav that has a 9.2-inch touchscreen, heated leather, Nappa leather upholstery, heated and powered front seats along with an electrochromatic rear-view mirror. Then at top spec Ultimate you obtain the automatic gearbox as standard, 5 seats only, 20-inch alloys, HID headlights, mood lighting, quilted Nappa leather upholstery, heated and ventilated memory front seats and also a powered tailgate. Optional extras. SsangYong Rexton. Apart from metallic paint, the optional extras to be had are dealer fit items, for instance tow bars and side steps. Lots of safety kit is roofed as standard slow parking camera, but useful 360-degree view. No adaptive cruise control, but an abundance of other tech. The SsangYong Rexton has an excellent array of standard safety and driver assistance kit aboard, with an increase of available when you climb a few rungs from the trim ladder. The firm is hoping to score a good 4 stars during forthcoming Euro NCAP crash testing. All cars have the following: airbags, driver, passenger, curtain and side escape system including hill descent control, hill start assist, active rollover protection, autonomous emergency braking, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, traffic sign recognition, lane change assist, tire pressure monitoring system, cruise control, automatic lights and wipers, keyless entry, acoustic parking sensors. Moving nearly. ELX then nets you side airbags for rear passengers, driver's knee airbag, rear view camera. At top spec Ultimate you may expect blind spot assist, rear cross traffic alert, tinted rear windows, around view parking camera. All from the equipment we've tested until now works well except the reversing camera, which on initial test in Korea delay that meant in reality we had arrived far closer towards the object behind the auto than it looked about the screen. The acoustic parking sensors work perfectly, in case you're someone that mainly relies for the screen. Possibly you have a few bumps before you have used to it. Adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist are conspicuous by their absence here too, which seems just a little out of kilter while using otherwise comprehensive suite of safety systems for the Rexton. 7 seats on some models, at its best to be a 5-seater, though parking possible with tech. While 7 seats are situated on base spec X cars, it's optional on ELX and unavailable on Ultimate models. That says to you all you should know regarding the Rexton's power to carry in excess of 5, it's for brief distances only. It's quite simple to get into the trunk seats, but taller passengers will see their heads touching the top end with almost no space to get their feet. Add to that this small rear windows and it could be a claustrophobic area for some. However, should it be just for occasional use by children, they're a lot more than adequate and quite comfortable. Space within the middle row is generous, though, with lots of head and legroom plus an almost flat floor throughout the width with the car, so those within the middle seat won't feel as if they've drawn a short straw. This is really a car at its best with 5 seats plus a large boot area. If you have to carry more, investigate the SsangYong Turismo instead. This can be a large, tall car, therefore isn't the simplest to park in tight spaces, simply because it won't fit into small spaces. However, the top and rear parking sensors execute a lot to assist here, and there's a 360-degree bird's-eye view display on top-spec models that creates life that much easier still, although we found this stood a delay that may cause problems. Drivers have good visibility all around the automobile too, along with the front end includes a relatively short overhang. And on account of almost flat sides, it's much easier to judge than you may anticipate to begin with, and sitting up as high while you do means visibility is usually a strong point. In 5-seat mode the Rexton is incredibly practical indeed, because those cars get useful touches such like a split-level boot floor, grocery hooks inside the boot for one's shopping bags, and also a couple of cubbies at the side from the load area. There's a huge level of space, and top-spec models come using a powered tailgate to help access, although the correct answer is slow for action and taller people could find it easy to knock their head once the boot lid is open. If you go for any 7-seat Rexton, the boot space wonderful seats setup is quite small. There's only room for any couple of weekend bags, so you would possibly need to choose roof box for just about any large family holidays having a fully loaded car.